The Chronicles of Nonsense, the Comical Kingdom. Chapter 3, The Invisible Invaders. In a neighbouring land known for its seriousness and solemnity, King Solemn reacted with disdain upon learning of King Folly's policies of peculiarity. Renowned for his stern countenance and rigid governance, King Solemn read through the scroll detailing the Comical Kingdom's unconventional rules with a deepening frown. Laughter breaks, taxes on seriousness. This is no way to govern, he grumbled, surrounded by advisers whose disapproving faces mirrored his sentiments. Perhaps a diplomatic approach is warranted, suggested Sir Frownalot, King Solemn's most trusted adviser. We should send an envoy to convey our disapproval of their unconventional methods. King Solemn agreed, deciding to dispatch an emissary to the Comical Kingdom with a solemn message of concern. However, due to vast cultural differences, the message of seriousness became hopelessly lost in translation. What was intended as a stern warning was received as an invitation for a friendly exchange of whoopee cushion diplomacy. In the Comical Kingdom, the arrival of the solemn envoy sparked amusement. The sight of these serious diplomats, dressed in sombre attire and sporting stern expressions, contrasted vividly with the colourful, chuckling citizens. Upon receiving the message, King Folly was more amused than alarmed. Misunderstanding the solemn tone of the letter, he interpreted it as a playful gesture. A whoopee cushion diplomacy invitation, you say? He chuckled, imagining King Solemn participating in practical jokes. Very well, we accept. In response, the Comical Kingdom prepared a unique diplomatic package. They assembled a crate filled with gag items, joy buzzers, rubber chickens, and of course, whoopee cushions, each accompanied by a note of goodwill and cheer. When the crate returned to the Kingdom of Sobriety, it was opened with great apprehension. The court's stern faces fell even further upon seeing its contents. The unexpected presence of rubber chickens and mysterious whoopee cushions was met with gasps of indignation. "This is an act of aggression!" exclaimed Sir Frownalot, mistaking the playful jest for an insult. King Solemn, his face growing redder by the second, nodded gravely. "Prepare the armies. It appears we must teach these jesters the gravity of their actions." Unbeknownst to them, their bold declaration of war would lead to the most unconventional conflict the world had ever seen. It was not a war of bloodshed and violence, but a clash of solemnity versus silliness. A unique battle where laughter was the weapon, and the casualty was only solemnity. In the Kingdom of Sobriety, preparations for war began earnestly. The air was thick with tension and gravity as soldiers readied their weapons, strategists pored over maps, and King Solemn issued stern commands. Their strategy was simple: invade the Comical Kingdom and impart a lesson in seriousness. Meanwhile, life continued in the Comical Kingdom as usual, merry and light-hearted. The concept of war was so foreign that even the proclamation sent by the Kingdom of Sobriety was interpreted as another act of whoopee cushion diplomacy. King Folly, upon receiving the scroll, read aloud, "Prepare for the solemn forces of sobriety," which elicited laughter from the court. "Valiant warriors, we eagerly anticipate your humour. Filled arrival," he penned in response, still misunderstanding the gravity of the situation. The day arrived when Sobriety's forces marched towards the Comical Kingdom, their armour gleaming in the sun, faces stern and resolute. But as they approached the kingdom's colourful border, they were met not with a battleground, but with a grand and lively festival in their honour. Music filled the joyous air, accompanied by the tempting and enticing scent of pies, a beloved delicacy in the Comical Kingdom. Jugglers juggled, jesters danced, and citizens, adorned in vibrant attire, laughed and cheered for their guests, At the heart of the revelry stood King Folly, his jingling hat catching the sunlight as he welcomed the serious soldiers with a broad grin. Confusion rippled through the ranks of the sombre soldiers as they witnessed the lively spectacle. They had come prepared for conflict, but instead found themselves amidst a jubilant carnival. Their stern expressions wavered in surprise and growing uncertainty as they were offered pies, shown delightful tricks, and drawn into energetic dance circles. Then it happened. A surprised soldier, watching a jester stumble over his own feet, let out a snort, then a giggle. Before he knew it, he was laughing. A deep, belly-shaking laugh that he hadn't experienced in years. The sound of his laughter spread through the soldiers like a wave, and soon the entire army was laughing, their stern facades cracking to reveal genuine smiles and mirth. News of the invasion turned celebration reached King Folly, who roared with laughter. So they sought to wage a war of seriousness, did they? He chortled. Well, they were certainly unprepared for our secret weapon humour. Thus, the Invisible Invaders, the forces of sobriety, were not defeated by swords, strategies or brute force, but by laughter and joy. They returned to their kingdom, hearts lighter, faces brighter, with echoes of laughter still vividly ringing in their joyful ears. King Solemn, anxiously awaiting word from his stern forces, was taken aback as he saw his soldiers, not downtrodden or weary, but cheerful, laughing and visibly transformed, a sight he had not seen in years. The invasion served as a lesson, albeit not the one King Solemn had intended. It taught that laughter could dismantle barriers, humour could conquer solemnity, and joy was a force stronger than any weapon. Thus, the Comical Kingdom demonstrated the true power of humour, turning the Invisible Invaders into champions of joy.